This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 34, Creeps, Beeps, and Final Leaps.
Superman.
Hi and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 34, Creeps, Beeps and Final Leaps. My name's Paul Hawkins, I am your host for tonight, and as ever I am joined by
Brett Summers
and Damien Hicks.
There we go. How are you all doing?
Okay.
Living the dream.
Excellent, excellent.
Do you know what? I really hate people that say that.
Living the dream?
Yeah.
Whose dream?
My dream.
Because it could be any dream.
Your
what
dream.
You know. What dream could you be living? Freddy Krueger had a lot of dreams. You know what I mean? It's not what
that's
dream.
not the kind
Are
of
you
dream
going
you
around
wanna be
murdering
living.
people? What is your dream?
Is it based on living the American dream?
Is it Freddy Krueger's dream? Is it Martin Luther King's dream? They're different, you know, but they're still dreams.
Or are they nightmares?
Who knows? Gabrielle would know, actually.
You don't want her dreams to come true with Freddy's in them?
No. They definitely weren't 2020
Oh, I forgot.
vision. Oh, what have you forgot?
I bought flumps.
This episode of Cult Faction will be sponsored by Flumps and Flump-like products.
I wondered
Other
what,
Flump products are available.
I wondered what you're reaching for.
I'm more concerned that they were down there and needed a massive fart earlier.
So it's in a plastic container.
You flumped the flumps. Who flumps the flumps? You flumped the flumps.
I could get you a bowl. Let me get you a bowl.
I'm alright. I will be flumpless for tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, flump you.
Yeah.
You
That's
muddy,
your attitude.
muddy flumpster.
Do you want some flumps, Brett?
I may want some flumps.
Maybe later. You can use them like Scooby snacks. If he says something funny or interesting, throw one at him.
You're not Pavloving me through the episode.
Drop the bowl.
It's a real sound effect, people.
Yeah. You really feed him poor bowl of water.
Oh my god, he's got a little corner shop.
So you can carry on.
I know, I'm just... Yeah, we can carry on.
Just a little bit.
Well, I've had a great week, I suppose. It's been...
It's going to get better with a bowl full of flumps.
Oh, no.
There you go. Bowl of flumps.
Some might say it's flumptastic. I've watched a lot.
Okay.
Working a lot.
Oh, we're going
and
straight
I've
in.
been great.
Straight in we
He's got
go.
his flumps now. He's got his energy bars.
It was more calling it bringing it back
Yeah,
to
but
the point.
Can you talk about what you've been watching with flumps in your mouth? So, Brett,
Yeah, okay.
go on and hit us with what you've been watching this week.
The news. Loads of it.
Fantastic.
Keeps on going. I think there's on again next week. Cutting edge stuff. Now,
So-
I have been watching, in all seriousness, let me just bring up thy notes, because there's about 18 pages of it.
You told me lots of this in the car on the way here.
Spoilers? I can't talk about all those films. Right, I have been watching, I have seen, first of all, we'll start with Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Let there be carnage.
The new Venom film. And I wasn't the biggest, I do like Tom Hardy, I do like a bit of Venom, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the original film a few years back. But this Venom Let There Be Carnage version is a huge step up for them, as it brings them more in line with the quality that you're getting out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sony have been known to just sort of what's the word? Chuck shit to the wall and see what sticks sometimes. And but this time they've got their house in order, mainly because of, I'm guessing, what happens at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage, that they had to, and maybe someone was like looking over their shoulder and trimming the fat out the script a bit. But really good. Tom Hardy is awesome as himself and Venom. He does the voice of Venom now.
Does he?
Yeah, matey from Cheers is Woody Harrelson is very good at Cletus, aka Carnage.
AKA Woody Harrelson, or
Yeah, Woody from Cheers.
yeah, but is it just him as well?
Oh yeah, that's just him. There are some other nice little Easter eggs, if you know the comics, through the film, which may lead to the next one if it
Hang on,
happens.
I've got a rookie question here.
Go, rookie.
Is Woody Harrelson playing the same character that he plays in the MCU?
He's not in the MCU.
Is he not? I
No,
thought
he
was.
plays the same character he played in the first Venom film.
And that's not an MC.
Not at this point. It's the
Right,
Sony
okay.
Marvel Cinematic Universe made
Okay.
a bit like Morpheus.
See, I
where-
told you it was a rookie question.
No, it's a good rookie question, and people will be asking it. But Venom falls under the same remit as Morpheus does that we looked at last week, where it's a character, because it originates from Spider-Man, Sony can keep the copyright on it and make as many films as they like. Because that its root comic was Spider-Man, and because they own Spider-Man, they got dibs. But spoilers. Can I do spoilers on a film this recent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't bother me. I'm never going to
In
watch
the
it.
end credits, some weird shit happens, and suddenly Tom Hardy's like, "Where are we?" And he's like, "In Hawaii or something." And on the TV is J. Jonah Jameson rabbiting on about getting Spider-Man. You see pictures of what's it called, from Spider-Man? You know, like Mysterio and all that stuff.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker. Now I'm trying to remember the actor's name. The new Spider-Man.
Garfield? No, that was one
No,
before,
that was
wasn't
one
it?
before. That's what I nearly said.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland as Spider-Man as well. So somehow there's like it goes all wibbly wobbly, and then suddenly he's like, "Where am I?" And he's like, "What's going on?" He puts the TV on, and it looks like somehow he's been transported into the MCU now.
Ah.
So-
Alright, so
So that's in the end credits. So yeah, so in a way you were right in the long run. That's why I brought it up. So
it's a little Scooby-Doo moment.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of there, and suddenly the world goes a bit crazy, which would probably link to what we saw in that Spider-Man trailer. I'm guessing Doctor Strange does his spell, multiverse, and all that shizzle. And yeah, so the next step now will obviously be Venom in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we may finally see the Venom Spider-Man confrontation everyone's been waiting for, and I'm guessing some sort of cameo at least in the next Spider-Man movie from Tom Hardy Venom.
Cool.
So big things, big steps forward, and that's why I think it was a better film, because I think the MCU are over their shoulder going, right, you got to do that, you can't do that, you got to do that, and it kind of stopped Sony just chucking shit together like they usually do, to put it politely. Yeah, so that was really good. I get about 7 or 8 out of 10. It was enjoyable.
cool.
In the middle, you know, kids will probably love it more. I wanted a
How
little
is
bit
7,
more out of
8
it.
out of 10 in the middle? Surely that would be a 5.
yeah, it'd be 5 pushing to a 6, not a 7 pushing to an 8.
Let me-
So,
let me
so
just check-
we've established you don't teach science. I'm assuming you don't teach maths either.
Me no like math. Oh no, I gave it a 6.5. That was it.
That's
So,
a huge drop down from the 7-8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
well,
anyway.
maybe thinking back, I was enjoying it more than when I sat there and wrote it at the time. But it's the optimism of what could come next. I think I'm more excited about than what was in that. But no, it's a good film. There's some good turns in it from different people that are appearing in it. I don't want to give too much away because there are some different characters that pop up. And yeah, it was alright. You know, I've never had a problem with Tom Hardy as an actor. Some of his scripts have been a little bit dodgy sometimes, but that's not necessarily his fault. But
Boom.
well, he does the same thing now with Venom.
Yeah.
I am Venom. And but yeah, big things I think to come from that now, and hopefully, I think in this film I was reading it up, and Tom Hardy's become more involved in the production side of it as well now. So I think that's also one of the things that have. I think he's like, if I'm going to be in this, it's going to be my fault. It's shit, rather than me having to do what you tell me, you know. Yeah. And you know, fair play to him. So yeah, that was a good one. And then I watched Wozel Gummidge, Guy Fawkes, which I believe is about the 4th episode now.
I didn't like the reincarnation
That's
of
because you
Wozel.
have no soul, Paul.
No, I Wozel Gummidge. We should have done. I should have mentioned this on our things that made me go ooh the other week, because Wozel Gummidge was one of them.
Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
to be fair, when he
the
removed
old
his
one.
head,
The
that
old
wasn't.
one just me. Yeah, I gave it a. Let's get the rating out of the way first. I gave it a 6 out of 10 again. I said it was a fun jaunt around Scatterbrick Farm that has something in it for everyone to enjoy. I would have preferred a little more mystery and folklore, like as seen in previous episodes, but I'm still on board with Crook's vision. I'm excited to see where he will take it next. So yeah, it's really good. Guy Fawkes comes to visit, played by Paul Kaye. So obviously, you know, it's a fireworks special. What interested me is like they kind of do the bonfire and the Guy Fawkes bit. So if you're watching this in a country like say America or maybe that has no real clue what that is, it's never really overly explained. So it might be a bit freaky to someone who has no clue who Guy Fawkes or the 5th of November is and all that. But
Screw him.
yeah, I don't care. They can do it. Toby Jones gets the big points though because he plays like every member on the village committee.
Yeah, I've seen a screenshot or a clip or something.
And it was really good. But what I don't think they thought of is that it was just, I thought it was a very good commentary on life in a small village with not many people around.
You are currently sat in a small village. So.
Exactly. But you moved here. So you're all right. But no, but it was that kind of thing. I thought, is that them just making a little joke for the adults, or do they just think it was cute to get him to play all the different roles? And yeah, and his wife, when he's Mr. Whitebread the baker, his wife was what's her name? It was Holly from Family Affairs who ended up in Casualty, and it was nice to see her acting again. She was the one in Family Affairs who got married on the boat and then it blew up and all the main cast.
I don't even know what Family Affairs is.
It was the Channel 5 drama where about every year everyone died because they couldn't afford new contracts and then they would suddenly replace everyone.
Ah.
Do you not remember that one? No. It was
It
brilliant.
doesn't sound like the sort of thing I would watch.
It was brilliant in its badness, but yeah, she was the one that had the wedding on the boat, and then the boat blew up, and then the next day, it was like suddenly all the people who were there next door neighbours that you'd never seen before going, can't believe they've all died. And it was like, where have you all come from? But yeah, Wozel Gummidge was really good, and there's at least 2 more to come at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm well up for that. And I watched Marvel's Eternals.
Okay,
The new super hit film that's the number 1 biggest selling film in the whole world right now.
This is a mixed reviews. So what's Brett's lowdown?
I will give you I gave it a 7 out of 10. If you've read on cultfaction.com, you'll see that, and it says a well laid out movie that sets the stage for the future of the MCU. Some will love it, some won't, but to me it introduces a whole new element into the MCU and raises expectations of what to expect from a Marvel movie. It left me wanting more, and I can't wait to see how these storyline threads are picked up.
You're looking at me like I have no...
Well, you kind of sat back.
My heart sank when you said the future of the MCU. Can't they just
it's a lot. It is not... you kind of sat back. I thought you were going to...
No, I sat back.
For those that can't see, it looked like he sat back for dramatic effect. He was about to deliver some big truth or big speech, but then he just shuddered.
It might be
I think regular listeners know my opinion.
It may have been wind. But no, totally different from any Marvel film before. To start with, it's like 2.5 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
No, he didn't turn up. But, just eating a flump. Flumpy. Yeah, and 157 minutes, sorry it is. But it is very much... There is a lot of exposition. There's a lot of setting stages, a lot of explaining, and maybe overly explaining sometimes, but I think it probably would be needed because...
Well, I guess a lot of people wouldn't be used to the Eternals anyway. So
yes,
maybe
they're a third string, in my opinion, they're a third string comic franchise like Guardians of the Galaxy, where that they're trying to push up into like a mainstream. I still think they're just a replacement for the Inhumans experiment that went wrong. Because did anyone remember? Because they were going to do the Inhumans, it was going to be a movie. Then they made it into like a TV miniseries, and then they kind of took that TV miniseries they made and stuck it somewhere deep down on Disney Plus where no one could see it. And then they made the Eternals. I think it's like their kind of second jab at what they were trying to do, of having this overarching group of people who've been there forever, but we didn't know. But very good. And there is a sex scene, which the MCU is a bit.
It's just you looked at me like, would you want to go yay?
You know, you went yay on the inside. And the fighting's a little bit more graphic, a little bit more violent in some ways as well, rather than just sort of everything bounces off and it's all shiny and pretty. And there are lots of twists and turns. It's almost like a sort of a Game of Thrones season in one movie. You know, there's a lot of twists, turns, a lot of stuff to follow. So I imagine the mixed reviews come from if you've gone in expecting someone to become a hero, get defeated, but then come back and believe in yourself and then beat the baddie and save the girl, whatever it is. save the cheerleader, save the world, whatever it is you want to do. It's not like that at all. So it is an ongoing. And again, the after the credits bits, which Marvel are famous for now, are very, very, very good. I'm definitely not going to spoil those, but they are again the best bits, unfortunately. But then they always are, because it's the anticipation of what comes next. So people go, "Oh, if they're the best bits, that must mean the film's rubbish." They've always been the good bits because they're cliffhangers. You know, it's that sort of thing. That's the gimmick on those. But yeah, definitely worth a watch. But if you've got smaller kids, they're going to fall asleep. And so this is more definitely for your 40-year-old chowderhead people who are going to go in there and analyse it and overanalyse it. I think they'll love it. I think if you've got smaller kids who like Captain America kicking ass and Iron Man blowing stuff up, then they might be a little bit disappointed, because whilst there are big fight scenes and stuff getting blown up and cool things like that, it's spaced out over the run time of the movie, so they might get bored at times and fall asleep and wake up again.
But I guess if it's a bit more violent with sex scenes, you probably don't want small kids watching it anyway.
Probably not, but it is a good film. It is a good story, and I think it'll be one of those ones that, as we move forward in the MCU, we're going to go back, because they've revealed something that no one's picked up on yet in the dialogue or in the like, oh, they did say that back then, but we didn't notice it at that point. I think it's going to be one of those ones, but
cool.
Definitely worth a watch. But again, completely different to anything that Marvel have done up to this point. Excellent. So. And the last main thing that I was going to talk about, I'm halfway through season 6 of Sopranos now, and my attempt to watch all of it before I watch the new film. But I've also been watching Doctor Who Flux, and I've seen parts 1 and 2, and so far really enjoying it. There is a lot to take in, and it is going at a very fast pace, but it's probably the best thing so far of the current era. What do you think, Paul? Have you been watching it?
No.
Oh, you should do. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
It's fast paced. There's stuff going on. It's one of those. I'm watching it, but just keeping them on the old Skybox at the moment. I think once it's finished, I'll just go back and watch it properly as one piece, and I think it will make a lot more sense, because trying to remember all the little things week in, week out, when sometimes there's like 3 different things going on at once in different points in time and stuff like that, it's just a bit.
So they've improved on Doctor Who since Thingy took over, have they?
This is the best thing probably in Jodie Whittaker's era, yes. And it is proper cool Doctor Who. I mean, I've liked some of the other stuff, some of it not. I mean, I thought the Rosa Parks episode was good. There's been some good bits here and there, but this is like full on, for lack of a better term and not being sexist in any way, but this is like balls out Doctor Who.
And I'm sure she'd appreciate you giving us that review.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure she'd love it.
I mean, the caveat before you said it.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
So,
sounds like you've had much more fun-packed week than I have with my TV viewing. So let's move on to Damien first.
I was just about to go for a flump then as well. Never mind.
You can flump while you're talking. No one knows when I do that.
So, I haven't watched a lot this week. I took up the was it a challenge or so last week I did say I was going to start watching all this Star Wars nonsense. So
The Mandalorian.
That's the one.
The Mandalorian. Yeah, go on then. I'll brace myself for impact.
This is because Boba Fett's coming up later on in the year.
It is, yeah. So you know, I think we watched that last week, and I thought it piqued my interest a little bit.
So
I'm glad I saw the trailer for the Boba Fett thing before I'd watched the first season of Mandalorian. It takes about 6 episodes to even get going. It is so slow.
It is a bit slow.
It's a space western.
Yeah, but that's right on the nose, isn't it?
Yeah, no, really is. No, a lot of them were like that.
I know. Everyone says it's a space opera western when it comes to Star Wars, but Jesus Christ,
it's Lone,
you know, I think actually this is the second season.
It's Lone Wolf and Cub in space.
I think in the first episode of the second season, or maybe it's the second episode, whatever it is, when he rolls into this mining town to
the armor
meet up with the marshals. Oh, for God's sake! Just that's what is it? Any Clint Eastwood spaghetti western you can think of. insert name here. So, in all honesty, I wasn't overly impressed. And, I mean, they could at least explain roughly when it's supposed to take place. Not actually in the show, they don't.
Yeah, you see it, 'cause it's after Return of the Jedi.
No, I know it is after that, but it doesn't give you much on a...
I don't think space people keep dates as well as we do.
Either way, you could just say it's 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it is, since
I want to say
Empire.
7 years after Jedi. I'm trying to remember now.
No, I had to Google it, and apparently it's 9 years after Jedi.
Oh, there you go then.
But for non-Chowder Head fanboys like me, it would have been nice to have some... I actually would have really appreciated the scrolling thingy that you get on the movies, you know? I would have liked that. I would have brought into it straight away, I reckon, if they'd have done that.
Then you do that in the original Star Wars canon films, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't seen any since.
Rogue One didn't have it, and nor did Solo. Because it's only like the main movies that have that, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the proper term is anymore, but
Yeah, well, either way.
So
I'm
that didn't
episode
float
1
your
or
boat?
2 on season 2 now. Not overly impressed, but it's killing some time. 35 minutes here and there. So
it does build. It does build.
does it?
Oh yes.
Have I got to wait to episode 8 of season 2 for the build? Because,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, exactly. It's just...
And it is a build though. You'll be there like, oh my god.
Will I though? Will I really?
If you give in to the Force and let yourself, you will. Or if you want to be total childhood again, well, that's totally not realistic.
You have come this far, though, Damien.
Yeah, I'm impressed you've stuck with it this long.
Yeah, well, it's partly down to a lack of stuff to watch and having a baby that needs to go to bed very late so that she'll at least sleep for a good 6 hours before the following morning.
So she's a fan of Mandalorian, then?
Does she like?
She is, yeah.
Does she like Grogu? Well, sorry, Baby Yoda. He might not be Grogu yet.
May not be. So that's that, and I've started to watch Lock and Key, which I probably think is quite good, but I've got no recollection of what happened in the first season. I watched the recap of season 1 twice to try and remember what happened, and I still can't really. So I'm watching it going, so what did he's the one that made the film. Yeah, okay.
No, was the
he's not really a real person.
There was like a shape changey person.
Yeah, so he's not real.
The key.
She's lost her fear, or the fear's out in the woods, or something like that.
That's right.
But it's yeah. So like I say, it's probably really good, but I just spend like 25 minutes of each episode trying to figure out who's who and what they did in the first season. So I'm not really enjoying it. I'm literally watching it to get to the end of it.
Oh,
you used to do that with Dad's Army as well, though, to be fair. And hello. But no, I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list to watch, but as I say, TV-wise, Sopranos is still the priority on mine at the moment, just to get through it again, just to see. Finally watch the last episode, which I never did, and then watch the movie. Then it'll open up for other things again.
So yeah, I have been watching Lock and Key this week. I think I'm up to episode.
So you only recently watched the first season, didn't you? So
I was a bit of a newbie.
It's almost like a kind of seamless transition for you.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. They found some more keys. They found out how to make keys as well, which is cool.
Ooh.
And yeah, there's some extra twists that are being introduced. Have you got to the Dollhouse episode yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
No.
cool.
No spoilers here.
No, I thought that was quite a nice little touch to get in some.
Yeah, like I
CGI.
say, I think it's probably really good, but I'm just spending far too much time trying to... I think I should just give up trying to remember what happened and just enjoy the season for what it is.
Yeah.
I might enjoy it then.
If only they had a 5-minute recap.
They did.
I know.
It didn't really show you much.
Okay, so other than Lock and Key and Mandalorian, anything else?
No, that's it.
Right.
Here we go. You strap yourselves in, lads.
No, not at
Here
all.
we go.
No, so I've had a bit of a busy week this week with a new job and going away for the weekend. As we talked about, I watched Lock and Key, and yeah, I am absolutely really enjoying season 2. We also finished off You on Netflix as well.
You never came near me, don't tell.
So, if you haven't seen this, and I don't think you two have watched You.
I've watched some of it on Gogglebox.
I saw the first couple of episodes and lost
I'm up to
interest.
date with all the main twists and turns because Gogglebox don't put up spoiler warnings, and B, just show you key stuff that you wouldn't think they would show you on Gogglebox, like different people getting bludgeoned and murdered.
Yeah, that's why I stopped watching it.
And, so I'm up to date. I saw the one where they went on the swinging night.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it carries on from there. There's again, nice twists and turns in it. I can't really give too much away, but it ends on a really good cliffhanger, shall we say? And it's quite nice because you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. It's not too predictable. So yeah, definitely give that a watch if that floats your boat. The other thing that I watched, kind of binge watched, was a mini series on ITV called The Tower. So this is with Gemma Whelan from Game of Thrones, who plays a DSI or something like that in the.
So before we're plussing this, so don't.
No, I'm not going to give anything away. Don't worry. Spoilers. Have you seen any of them?
No, well, you started last night,
I've
didn't
seen
you?
Game of Thrones.
2 nights ago, right?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, we watched all of them last night then. Okay. So basically, it starts off with two people being falling off of a tower.
Is it Blackpool Tower?
No, like a high-rise tower. A small, a tween or an early teenager and a large cop, and you don't really know what's happened. The other police officers on top of the roof are all a bit cloak and dagger. One of them basically disappears. The other one's a bit suspect looking. So Gemma Whelan comes on as basically to investigate what happened, and the next 3 episodes basically unravel the mystery about.
It sounds like an episode of 21 Jump Street, I remember. But
well, literally, yeah. But did they jump? Where they pushed was something more sinister at play, and this is her investigating, all the leads and trying to find out what happened. It's actually a really good watch. There's only 3 episodes, so it should take everyone's attention span in this room, and even the American crowd.
He said that.
So give that a watch. It's on ITV Hub.
You can find him on Twitter.
The only other thing that I watched, just because it was on, was Dog Soldiers.
Oh,
great film.
We talked about it a few weeks ago,
yes.
and literally it just started. So I thought, well, I can't not watch it. So yeah, Sean Pertwee, Kevin McKidd, battling werewolves. I don't need to say any more on that.
No, you don't really.
No. It's a great film, and everyone should go and check it out.
Yeah.
Well, what was it on when you watched it?
I think it was on Channel 4.
I wasn't sure if it was on 8. I thought it went on like a platform or.
Yeah, no, I think it was on Film 4, something like that. But yeah, definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Forgive it its limitations for some of the visual effects, but definitely worth a watch.
Been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that it about anything else you've been watching? What about
Nothing worth.
Anything cool on the kids' market?
So we did watch Tom and Jerry with Chloe Grace Moretz in it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. To be fair to Chloe Grace Moretz, this is I think almost her trying to do a Reese Witherspoon type role, if you see what I mean. And she pulls it off quite well as being the hotel concierge or whatever she is that's trying to get rid of Jerry Mouse. But yeah, don't expect any groundbreaking.
When a girl's breakthrough movie involves her massacring a whole gang of people and dropping a C-bomb, it's hard to recover from that in a film career, isn't it? Because everyone's like, God, do that again. It's like, I want to do other things now.
But again, I mean, she has done so much in a short space of time. Let's face it, over the last 10 years, I think she's probably done about 1,000 different films.
Yeah. I mean, she's great in even, like the Dark Shadows movie, which I'm a big fan of, even though no one else was. But me and Tim Burton liked it. And yeah, I'm trying to think what other films she's done. Obviously, the Kick-Ass films.
She did one set in World War II, I think it was, with Gremlins in it on a plane. Gremlins on a plane. I can't remember what it's called now.
Cool. And even the Carrie remake, she wasn't the worst thing about that film. She done her bit fine. It was just the fact that, first of all, why are you remaking Carrie?
Exactly.
And second of all, like, you know, why are you like simplifying it and making it like just shit, really? You know, but she done her bit fine, so you know you can't moan. But yeah, no, she's done some good stuff. Be interesting to see where her career takes her next. Will it be to bigger films or will it be to Skid Row?
News desk.
The news.
News items. News items.
That's right. It is time for the news, and unfortunately some sad news to start us off this week, where we found out this week that unfortunately Dean Stockwell passed away at the age of 85.
Yeah, that's right. Admiral Al Calavici has leapt his final leap. Dean Robert Stockwell, a man who was born on March the 5th, 1936 in North Hollywood, California, is no longer with us. Obviously known for Quantum Leap, he also appeared in things like Married to the Mob, Paris, Texas, June, the Battlestar Galactica recent TV series. He was in Jag, he was in Star Trek Enterprise, he even did Stargate. The man was in a who's who of film and TV, normally associated with people like David Lynch and the science fiction genre, even going right back to his original first ever appearance in film TV in the Valley of Decision back in 1945. A long career with a lot of highs and not many lows and a lot of memories. We say goodbye this week to Dean Stockwell. Any memories, anyone?
Well, we've spoken about him several times on Cult Faction, and yeah, nothing but admiration for him and his relationship with Sam and Quantum Leap, obviously. But I remember seeing in the Boy with Green Hair once on one of his first roles as well. You know, so he's had a huge, long acting career that went up to very recently. Just a shame because well, it's a shame in general. But we were talking the other week about potentially, you know,
Quantum
Leap coming back. Yeah.
And how they would like hand over the baton.
Yeah. So yeah, sad news. Damien, anything else?
I have nothing to add.
You're the leaper.
I've been wearing my Cult Faction t-shirt. I've been wearing my Quantum Leap t-shirt all day in honour of the great man. And yeah, that I would just be repeating everything you've already said. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to some more unfortunate news is that it's been announced that William Lucking passed away back in October this year.
Yeah, Piermont, Piney, Winston, the Redwood original, Sam Crow, Sons of Anarchy man, is no longer with us as well. Born June 17th, 1941 in Vicksburg, Michigan. William Lucking had a career that basically involved every major TV franchise going, from things like Ironside, Mission Impossible, through to the Partridge Family, Bonanza, even on the big screen in things like Harold and Maude, where he played a police officer, where he actually legitimately broke his neck. He was the Magnificent Seven Ride. He was also in the back with David Carradine in Kung Fu. He was in Disneyland, The Rookies, Kodiak, SWAT, Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, Policewoman, The Rockford Files. The man did everything right the way through. Obviously, in the modern day, we had things like Chips, Heart to Heart, MASH, TJ Hooker, Matt Houston, The A-Team, Simon and Simon, right up to Outlaws as well. You need to see Outlaws if you haven't seen Outlaws. Right up to obviously Sons of Anarchy, which has been a huge show, and up to even he's just finished doing an episode of Murder in the First as well a few years ago, and that was his last television role. But again, a long and illustrious career, and to be honest, I don't think there can be many that have acted against TJ Hooker, the A-Team, Knight Rider, and Heart to Heart, and nearly everyone. Matt Houston, you know, I don't think that many people have opposed them all at once. So That's a Hall of Famer right there, ladies and gentlemen. William Lucking, and a legit badass in real life as well. Let's not take that away from him. He was known for a few scrapes. No one spilt that man's pint.
Okay, so next, the internet's Marmite, as it were, Squid Game. It's been confirmed that there's going to be a season 2.
Yeah, that's right. The biggest television series in the entire world right now is getting a season 2. Little is known about what will be happening in season 2 at the moment, apart from the fact that it's been announced. But my guess will be that our hapless hero will be now going after those behind the Squid Game. What would you call it? Squid Game. Enterprise. Yeah, they're sort of the Squid Game manipulation that's going on, and so we look forward to seeing that. I mean, as we say, it's only just been announced now, so we're probably looking at another year before they start filming, and maybe even longer before we see it. But saying that, the Korean film and TV industry are normally a lot quicker than the British and North American, so you never know. It might be sooner rather than later, hopefully. But Squid Game season 1 was very good, and I'm excited about season 2. Anyone else?
Yeah, very much so.
I've not seen the first season, so can't comment.
Catch up, boy.
Okay, so next, with Christmas just around the corner, somebody's just bagged themselves one of the best cosplay outfits going, or certainly one of the most expensive ones. So the costume worn by Will Ferrell and Elf has just sold for over $300,000 recently.
Yeah. We all know Elf. We all know Will Ferrell. We all know that cute little elf costume he's got. But if you want one like it, you're going to have to outbid the guy that did $300,000 on it. I say outbid the guy. We don't know. The bidder has remained anonymous. I'm kind of waiting for Will Ferrell to turn up on Christmas Eve dressed in it himself. He's bought it himself. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, $300,000.
Although I'm sure your mum could probably knock one up for a fraction of that price.
Yeah, she could definitely knit one. But yeah, so if you've got an outfit you want to do for fancy dress, or maybe Halloween's passed you by now and you're waiting for Christmas and thinking of something to do, maybe drop $300,000 on a elf costume and bring cheer to the neighbourhood.
Okay, so next, Code 404 has been renewed for season 3.
Yeah, it's back, and it's going to be back for one more season. Season 1 was amazing. It's on Sky in the UK and other places around the world. Code 404, which sees two police partners, where one gets mysteriously killed and then rebuilt as a robot and come back and fight crime. It's a great series. I've yet to watch season 2. I've got it recorded on my Skybox, and so I don't want to read on and give too much away about season 3 yet, because I'm trying not to spoil season 2 for myself. But season 1 was amazing. Go check it out. I'm sure season 2 will be. The fact that there's a third season, well,
yeah,
we can't be wrong.
Maintains it's equally as funny.
It is equally as funny.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, because it's a bit serious. It is a bit comedy, but it normally, or going by season 1, there was an actual serious, sensible plot line to it, as well as the comedy, wasn't there? It wasn't just slapstick.
No, it's not.
He's a robot.
This sounds silly to say, bearing in mind the premise, but it's grounded humour. It's not just jumping from one silly situation to another. And like you say, there's a proper story arc, and there's a story arc in season 2 as well. So yeah,
excellent. I look forward to
pleased to see that it's going to third season.
Okay, and just announced that Hanna will end on season 3, which comes out on Amazon later on this month.
You're looking at me.
Yeah, Hanna was the one that said I didn't have anything on.
Okay, well, yeah, Hanna. It's a
based on film.
It's based on there was an original film, and then it's basically kind of like teenage assassins, if you like, that have been sort of hothoused in some weird commune type thing. It's good. You're looking at you're asking someone who can barely remember his own name to then give you a synopsis on a TV show that he has watched both first 2 seasons of, but
almost like trained assassin type people. That's
exactly what they are. Yeah. I don't remember how the second season ended. It did end on a cliffhanger, so it's good that it's coming back. I didn't even know it was coming back. Whether it's a shame it's going to end on season 3, probably not, because that premise can only go so far. So that's probably a good thing that it is ending, because they're all going to get out of whatever sort of regime that they're in. Otherwise, it's going to be just go on forever, and that'd be silly. So there we go. Good to
Okay,
see it's
cool.
going to end,
And
but not in a I'm glad it's coming to an end way. Just
Yeah. But at least they'll
don't just drag it on and on and on.
an opportunity to round things
and
up.
that's available now on Amazon. So I might have to go and check that out.
It's good.
The only other item is it's been announced that Taika Waititi, loads of different stuff, i.e. Thor Love of Thunder, Jojo Rabbit director, writer, is set to direct a feature film adaptation of the graphic novel The Incal.
Also, did I see him pop up in Mandalorian?
Yes, you did.
I thought he did. I thought it was him.
Yeah.
So he's also going to write the script and collaborate on the project with Jermaine Clement and also Peter Warren. So as we know, Clement and Waititi have worked on things like What We Do in the Shadows, Flight of the Conchords, and probably lots of other stuff as well. I like to think that they just hang out in their own lives as well. Yeah, go for beers and all that kind of stuff. Which
That is
One of
what
them built
happens,
a
I'm
pub
sure
in his
about.
garden, and they just come round every Tuesday night and chat.
Do podcasts.
and that's where they get the best ideas from, I imagine. So
So what is Incal? Do we know? I've never heard of it.
wasn't that created by Alejandro Jodorowsky and Mobius in the 70s, and it's a story that centers around a private investigator, John DeFool, who happens upon a mystical artifact known as the Incal, an object of great power coveted by many factions across the galaxy. As DeFool learns of the Incal's powers and purpose, he teams up with a ragtag crew on a mission to save the universe. I think it's something like that.
Sounds familiar.
Right.
It's French, wasn't it? Yeah, no, I think you're right there.
But anyway, anything with him, and particularly after Thor and many of his other films, I've got a lot of hope for anything he touches. So yeah, looking
The
forward
man
to that.
can do no wrong.
I think the only thing with this is no idea about production or when it's going to be released or made, because he's busy doing so much. at the moment.
And it's early days yet. It'll come.
Yeah.
He does it like the kind of guy that can just make a hit movie on his weekend off.
Drop zone.
Drop zone.
That's right. Now it's time for the drop zone, where we take a look at the hottest trailers that have dropped over the last week. Well, to be fair, we've had mixed trailers over the last few months. But
Yeah, I think that's a bold statement to go with hottest,
here's hoping.
especially when we haven't seen them.
There are a couple of hot trailers, but first up, probably the last trailer for the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife has just dropped.
That's right. From director Jason Reitman and producer Ivan Reitman comes the next chapter in the original Ghostbusters universe. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, when a single mum and her 2 kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. The film is written by Jason Reitman and Jill Keenan and will be coming to theatres November the 19th, 2021.
Looking forward to this one. Might even take the kids.
Gonna be good.
So there we go. I think this is something like the 3rd or 4th trailer that they've released over the
there were a
last
few
year.
little teasers in between and things, weren't there, and stuff, yeah.
But they've given a bit more away.
I feel they've given too much away now, and I know exactly what's going to happen in the film.
I think they've done it spot on, because I was a bit worried it was going to be a bit namby-pamby.
I know, I'm liking it, but I think I know exactly what's going to happen now,
Yeah,
and
so-
that annoys me.
Well, we get a glimpse of the Terror Dogs.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they unleash us all again. There'll be a gatekeeper keymaster thing, because that woman had the dress on that thingy Sigourney Weaver wore. All the same ghosts are back, including the hot dog dude, the taxi driver, and Slimer. So like they've gone back. I like the piano bit as well, because that was Peter Venkman's tune.
Yeah.
No, some really nice touches, and I'm looking forward to watching it. But I feel like they've told me the entire plot now.
Maybe
Hopefully it's not. Hopefully there's a spin on it, and
that
I'm like, yeah.
could just be the nods to get us fanboys back on board.
Nah, they're not that clever.
I think they are that clever.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They know what they're doing.
The jury's still out on the Stay Puft Little Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that. I'm hope, like we said before in previous episodes,
Maybe it's a
I hope
dream
it's
or
a dream
something, yeah.
sequence or something similar.
Or just a 5-minute max
Yeah.
scene.
But I did watch a thing the other week with Peter Venkman
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, that's it. Can't remember his name then. I've gone back to like Peter Venkman's a real person, and it was him watching it. It was him watching the original bit we watched for the first time,
I've seen that.
and he loved it. He was like, "That's so brilliant." That's just like it, and I was just like, "Dude, you don't care at all, do you?" Just give him a check. But no, I'm up for it. Definitely, I've always loved the Ghostbusters. I just think they might have shown too much of their hand. That's all I'm worried about.
We shall see.
We shall.
Very soon.
And report back.
Damn right.
Okay, so up next on the drop zone, 8-Bit Christmas.
Yeah, 8-Bit Christmas comes from...
We're using like a computer with 8-bit memory to look at that.
I still had all my Ghostbusters notes up.
One of those little Donkey Kong handheld console things.
8-Bit Christmas stars Neil Patrick Harris and Winslow Fegley as the adult and young Jake, respectively. June and Diane Raphael, and it also has David Cross in it and Steve Zahn. And it comes from New Line Cinema and HBO Max, and it is being described as, and I quote, a humorous and heartfelt look back at the adventures of childhood set in suburban Chicago in the late 1980s, with a story that centers around 10-year-old Jake Doyle's Herculean quest to get the latest and greatest video game system for Christmas.
So similar to the one that Schwarzenegger did a few years ago.
Yeah, but this looks better. Yeah. And it is due to drop on November the 24th on HBO Max and some theatres.
Cool. Let's give this a watch.
Oh, and I like this there's an and because I've never seen it quite described like this before. It has been rated PG for rude humour, some mild violence, language, and suggestive references. Now that's been upgraded a bit more, isn't it? Normally it's like PG and it might be a bit rude, but rude humour.
Is there any mild
references. No, there is no mild peril, but there is mild violence.
That's a favourite of mine, that is.
I don't know about anyone else, but I'm all in the Christmas spirit now.
I think it's going to be good, but I'm getting at How I Met Your Goldbergs vibe.
Well, just because it's got Neil Patrick Harris in.
Well, it's set
Let
in
it
the
go,
80s.
man. Let it go.
And he's telling the story to his daughter about what happened.
So
that's the framing.
that
device.
can be done.
He can't play the kid, can he?
And then they're doing the Goldbergs bit of the flashback. No, I'm liking it, but I'm just saying it's that sort of nostalgia thing now, which is cool. Goldbergs do it well, and maybe they've overdone it slightly now after like 10 years or however long it's
They
gone.
jumped the shark.
Yeah, well, it'd just be nice if they moved to the 90s. But yeah, they may be jumping the shark, which is something we should look at really. But maybe in another time in another place. But yeah, no, I'm in for it. I'm going to watch it. It's on HBO Max anyway, so we haven't got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Do we not?
I like the look of it.
How do we watch it then? It was on HBO Max.
Well,
Because
I
it said you have
imagine
to subscribe.
well, yeah, in America, we'll probably get it on Sky Atlantic.
Cool. Sweet. There. Done. Okay, so
yeah.
changing the tone slightly, we go from a nice 8-bit Christmas to Puppet Killer.
Puppet Killer, which is hitting digital on November the 29th. I'll give you the gist as written. For 7-year-old Jamie, watching horror movies with his loving parents and his fuzzy pink puppet Simon, it's a beloved Christmas tradition. Unfortunately, that will end when his mother dies of cancer and his father marries a new woman who isn't nearly as supportive of Jamie's horror obsession or his unhealthy friendship with Simon. After she mysteriously disappears from the family vacation home, Jamie starts to believe that Simon may have killed her. 10 years later, Jamie brings 5 of his high school friends to the family cabin for Christmas break. All seems well until Simon is discovered in the cellar, resurrecting Jamie's old fears, causing him and his friends to question his mental well-being. As the weekend unfolds, Jamie's friends are slaughtered one by one in ways that would make Freddy, Jason and Michael proud. Jamie must confront his childhood best friend in a bloody showdown that will push him to the brink of madness if it hasn't already. This Christmas, you better watch out, you better not die. Puppet Killer will be available on the 29th of November.
I don't think they were the original lyrics.
No.
You better watch out. You better not die.
I thought there'd be another bit.
I mean, that's good advice just in general all year round, I would say.
I'm assuming that this is not a PG.
Well, I was let down because I thought there'd be another bit after that.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. It just then bangs you.
It's
with
just
the
like the guy writing the copy for, I've had enough of this. Yeah. You better not die.
But they've had my 15 minutes for
Yeah.
today. I'm off.
Yeah. Lunch break.
It's happy hour.
It's off to watch Love Island or something.
Yeah. Right, let's watch the trailer.
Yeah, I like it. Who doesn't like a serial killer puppet?
Yeah. First 10 seconds, I thought, oh god, here we go. But then the puppet talked. And I thought to myself, well, it could actually be the second best movie of the 80s made since 1990. We shall see.
It does say as well, it is guaranteed to knock the stuffing out of you.
Paul's not looking very impressed over there.
I don't know.
They obviously not spent enough on it for you.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It's just the funny bits didn't look that funny. But
I don't think they were supposed to be like laugh out loud funny. I think it's just more like funny in a disturbing way.
no, it's supposed to be a comedy horror.
You don't
But
have to be-
yeah, again, it's a trailer. You know, it may be a really good film. I'm going to watch it because everyone's looking.
Because that's what we do.
Everyone's looking for a decent comedy horror. Yeah, let's see what the film brings. When did you say it's coming out?
29th of November.
Thanks, Brett.
It's just that you always ask me after I close the window down.
Okay, so have you opened up your new window?
I have all my windows ready.
Okay, so next up on the drop zone, The Gardener. Or is it? I don't know. It could be a romance. Is it The Gardener?
No, it's the
Gardener.
The quiet of the English countryside is shattered when a troubled, wealthy family gathers in a quaint manor home for the holidays,
With a puppet.
never suspecting that bloodthirsty sadist Volker, played by Gary Daniels from Inspectables, and his crew linger at the gates, ready to attack, rob, and maim them at nightfall. But the invaders don't count on the estate's quiet gardener, Peter Jahaz, played by Robert Bronzy, known from Death Kiss, who must return to his savage ways that he learned as a soldier to save the family.
Sweet.
And it will be released on December the 28th.
Okay, so let's watch Charles Bronson 2 kick ass.
That looks like fun.
I will watch it. What made me laugh is that third guy got a big screen shot of himself, but they didn't put his name up. So it was like, oh no, we're not going to worry about him. But yeah, go on, Paul, sorry.
No, I didn't mind the look of it at all. Apart from, it kind of, I'm sure Jackie Chan did something.
If he didn't, Steven Seagal did.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not an original plot line, is it?
Yeah.
Some retired soldier or just
Die Hard, really, isn't it?
yeah, exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's just Die Hard, Commando, the whole shebang, really. But so what? It looks like fun.
It's just a shame Pat Moriarty's dead because he could have been a bonsai gardener and then come back full force.
I just can't work out how Robert Bronzy got cast in this.
No, I think it looks good. It's got lots of different masks in it, all scary looking. So
Yeah, and it's if anyone's listening, I'd like to be in The Gardener too. I feel I can match up with some of the people I saw on screen.
So before we go on to the final trailer in the drop zone, I'd just like to say something.
Ooh.
I get a feeling that so far we're 1, 2, 3, 4 films into the drop zone, and I think that's 3 thumbs up from all of us for all the films.
Yeah. That means this one's going.
I wasn't getting a thumbs up vibe from your comments on.
Yeah, you shit on the Puppet Killer.
Yeah.
No, I said I'm going to give it a go. I like the idea. It's just they didn't. If it's a funny comedy, then they didn't shine in that trailer. I'm going to watch it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see if this continues. I think this is a tough one because we've got high hopes for this.
Yeah.
So the Scream featurette has dropped, Brett.
Ghostface is back and is as scary as ever. Discover what brings the legacy and new cast together in the all-new Scream movie, which comes to theatres January the 14th, 2022, where 25 years after a streak of brutal murders shocked the quiet town of Woodsboro, a new killer has donned the Ghostface mask and begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadly path. Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox and David Arquette return to their iconic roles in Scream alongside Melissa Barrera, Kyle Garner, Mason Gooding, Mikey Madison, Dylan Minette, Jenny Ortega, Jack Quaid, Marley Shelton, Jasmine Savoy Brown and Sonia Amar.
It's got more people in than Ben-Hur, isn't it?
I was beginning to think that.
Cool. Well, let's see. Let's watch the Scream trailer. Okay, so that was the Scream featurette. Sorry, not trailer.
That's right.
Doesn't really give us any more than the trailer that we've already seen gives us.
Do we think David Arquette's the first one to die?
Don't see a lot of him, do you? Once he gets past it's back.
There's a bit of his back. You see him walking away, makes the phone call, and he only in the bits later on.
I just think, if I were the Ghostface, I'd be a bit disappointed after 25 years not having a silver mask. To really celebrate the anniversary.
Yeah. Upgraded.
I know in the featurette they said, it's something completely different. I didn't see much of that, to be honest.
No,
apart from the fact that
unless one of them's the killer at the end.
Well, yeah, but
maybe that's your twist.
Other than the fact that Ghostface is a bit more tech savvy.
Yeah, I didn't see him TikToking the deaths.
But hey, it's a tough one. I will watch it. But yeah, I'm going to try and set my hopes low.
Yeah.
And hopefully be surprised.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm optimistic. Hopefully, it's alright. I like the fact that the surname of the new girl was Carpenter. Yeah. I thought that was a nice twist.
Yeah, if they meant it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So, we've got a late addition to the Drop Zone. And this is the Advent Calendar.
It is the Advent Calendar, which is written and directed by Paul Ridgemont. The Advent Calendar follows Eva, who has been paraplegic for the past 3 years, and when her birthday arrives, she receives a strange Advent Calendar as a gift. But instead of the traditional sweets, every day reveals something different, something sometimes pleasant but often terrifying and increasingly bloody. It's going to be a very deadly Christmas this year, and that arrives on Shudder on December the 2nd. The Advent Calendar.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna reconsider my Advent Calendar choices this year. I was gonna get a Lego one.
I quite like it, the fact that we may have a horror film with a new gimmick.
Like Jumanji in a horror film.
Yeah, it's like a Jumanji, The Ring, Ringu, however you want to say it nowadays, Japanese version. 7 days. You must follow the rules, whatever else. But
Gremlins.
Yeah. That is a Christmas film. I'm intrigued. Obviously, I believe it's French, and we've got to.
Looks that way, yeah.
Yeah.
What gave that away?
We've got to put up with the subtitles, which some people won't do. But I think if you do, I think you're in for a ruddy good time.
Yeah.
And to be fair, with a horror film, there's probably not that much talking. It's probably lots of screaming and chasing and all that kind of. Yeah, I think it looked really good. It's often the case that we have a trailer for a horror film and none of us are excited, or we've seen that all before.
But this is probably one of the most original ones I think we've seen this year, even. Ooh.
Yeah. That's out soon, didn't you say?
December the 2nd on Shudder as well. So if you've got Shudder, you ain't even got to pay for it.
I get that on my little Christmas film Advent Calendar list.
Yeah. One for all the family. Yeah. Let's go around.
Cool.
I may have a new favourite Christmas movie. That was a Drop Zone where we liked everything.
Yeah.
Shit,
this
must be Christmas.
I like to think that somewhere out in the sky all the stars are just aligned or something. Like Bill and Ted's.
Out there. Yeah, it's about time they aligned and saved the universe. We're still waiting, Bill and Ted. But yeah.
Excellent. If there's nothing else from anyone, it's time for the wrap. So that was the Cult Faction podcast, episode 34, Creeps, Beeps and Final Leaps. be sure to check us out on all your podcast streaming services. We're on pretty much everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Spotify,
Social media and everything else.
YouTube,
TikTok, Instagram,
Twitch,
cultfaction.com.
Twitcher.
Is that a thing?
Am I getting that confused with The Witcher?
That's
and Twitch.
Twitch is bird listers, and then people that go and watch bird.
Yeah.
Are we on Twitch?
I don't think there's a Twitch.
Oh, we're on Twitch. We're not on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitch. Well, whatever. Yeah, don't tweet. And do you tweet on Twitch?
I have no idea. No, you broadcast.
Yeah. So
you crazy old man.
be sure to check us out on all those different podcast streaming services, and please do give us some likes, some feedback.
Yeah, review and rate us. It makes a huge difference. And also tell your friends.
And their friends.
And others. And even people at the bus stop. Just shout it at them.
And in fact, if you don't like this, tell the people you don't like to listen to it.
Yeah.
We don't care whether you like them or not.
Your enemy's enemy is our friend.
Yeah, something like that.
And feel free to leave comments on our YouTube videos where you'll get mature responses.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And you can email us at cultfactionpodcast@mail.com, which we probably need to check the mailbox, see if anyone
Yeah, I might do that in a minute.
and obviously goes without saying, but check out the cultfaction.com website for all the latest news.
The hub. That's where everything comes from. It's our brain. It's our hub. It's our whatever other things kids call it these days. It's our central nervous system.
Central nervous systems. I think you took that a little bit too far there. So without further ado, I've been Paul Hawkins, your host for this evening, and as ever, I've been joined by
Brett Summers.
Damien Hicks.
Don't have nightmares, and we'll see you next week.
Be seeing you.
Bye.
Superman.
Fucking hell, Summers.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's me you're looking for.
I can see it in your eyes.
Sent you this on WhatsApp.
Oh, what?
On WhatsApp.
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, man. Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 34.
The podcast.
Boy. Are you just freestyling?